Lately, everyone's asking the question, will artificial intelligence replace traditional artists? The answer is yes and no. I believe that artists who don't adapt to the technology, they're going to be lost, yes. But I also believe that artificial intelligence is going to create more artists than ever before because the learning curve is going to get those gaps are going to close and those gaps are going to get less and less. And it's going to be easier to learn traditional art like never before. And I'll tell you why. I've seen this before. I've seen this cycle before. I've lived through it. And it's just the natural evolution of growth. And let's get into it. So let me tell you why I believe what I believe. I have over 35 years of experience in graphic design and illustration. I went to art school in 1987 and graduated in 1989. And at that time, computer graphics was just being introduced. Matter of fact, none of our classes, except for one, delved into computer graphics, and the graphics were slow and wonky, and it definitely wasn't at the level of what we see now in terms of use of the computer. The computer was a novelty, but it wasn't the traditional method in producing art for ads, uh, print setup, design, and so forth. Everything was done by hand. And when I say everything was done by hand, everything was done by hand. If you wanted to design an ad, you had to literally measure out the galleys or the columns that your copy was going to fit in. And you would send that copy out to a type fitter, a typesetter, which was these houses that specialized in producing fonts for ads or producing galleys for ads. You would send it out, they would send it back to you, you would paste it down on your board, and you would literally glue everything on the board and set it up for the printer to take a shot at it. Now everything is done in the computer, but when I was getting out of school, you still had what they call paste up artists, which were artists in ad agencies and graphic design houses that would literally design ads and paste the ads on boards to be set up to send to a printer to be shot and to be run through the press. Now it's all an electronic file. So when I got out of school, which was 1989 to 1990, the computer was just being introduced uh, in terms of being able to produce your own graphics in house. Before that time, you would send everything that was graphic to an outside designer or a type house or an outside agency. Once desktop publishing started becoming a thing and agencies started utilizing it, paste up artists started to disappear. I remember when I was got out of school, because my brother was a paste up artist. He would just take his book to an agency, and there will be rows and rows of tables for paste up artists to set up and do their work. You can get a job like that as a paste up artist because you needed a lot of hands to produce the work. Once desktop publishing started taking root, those jobs quickly started to disappear. You would have ad agencies or graphic houses that would employ 10, 12 designers. You would only need 2 or 3 because of the desktop publishing. There was no more need to send your type out to a type house or a typesetter to get set and bring it back to you. That step was immediately closed because you can set it up in your computer, print it out, and paste it on your board yourself. So when I say I've seen this before, I'm telling you that it was a growth of evolution. So the artists that did not adapt and learn the programs and learned how to use the computer as a tool, those were the artists that fell off. But the artists that did learn the tools, learn the computers, learn the programs, those are the artists that progressed, and those are the artists that remained. And the computer, over the years, desktop publishing, they don't even call it desktop publishing anymore, but desktop publishing has produced more and more artists. Now, were jobs lost? Yes, jobs were lost, but more jobs were created. And I'll tell you why. Because you because you cut down steps, because you cut down time, there was more time to evolve and to design and to create. And that is what AI is doing now. With AI, um, I believe that it's going to create more artists than losing artists, because I'll tell you why. AI is a learning tool. You can use AI to learn yourself. If you want to learn how to paint, I remember back in the day, if you wanted to learn how to paint or a specific skill, you had to go find an artist. You had to go find a workshop to teach you watercolors and things of that nature. Now you can go on YouTube, find a video, and somebody's out there teaching it. So that's a step that's cut off, right? Now, do you really need to go to art school? There's people out there getting jobs without going to art school because they sat down, they learned the programs, they learned how to design, and they learned how to usefully use the tools, right? So yeah, there's some colleges that are out of business now. There's some art schools that are out of business now, because why pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to art school when you can sit down, learn the software on the computer for yourself, and go out and get a job, right? So yeah, anytime there is progress, somebody's going to be left behind. But the lead reason why people get left behind is because they don't make use of the tools. As artists today, as fine artists, there are tons and tons of ways we can make use of AI. AI can be an effective teacher for artists. And I don't believe that you should be threatened by it. I believe that you should embrace it. And if you embrace it, you're going to find a way for AI to enhance your art. So my suggestion and my encouragement to all you artists and creators out there, don't be afraid of AI crowding you out or pushing you to the side. Don't be afraid of AI taking your job or anything like that. I don't see it that way. I see AI as a tool that artists and creators can harness and use in their own content. There's always going to be a need for traditional artists, and I'll tell you why. Traditional artists like you, myself, we have the power to connect. We can connect to other human beings on an emotional and spiritual level. A computer can't do that. Um, AI, the way AI works is you give it directions, you give it an input, and it gives you an output. But it can only output to the extent of the the input that you give them, right? With humans, when we connect more so on an emotional level, a spiritual level. There's some things that we communicate that just aren't said. It's those nuances that we have in our spirit, in our mind, in our soul, that gives us the ability to connect on a deeper level. And that's what AI cannot do. So you have a one up on AI, being that you are a spiritual being. You can do something that AI cannot do, which is connect spiritually, connect emotionally. You can invoke a feeling without even saying a word. And there's always going to be that need for people to connect emotionally, spiritually, and so forth. And that's what true art does. True art is about connecting. True art is about filling that gap, filling that void emotionally and spiritually. And that's something that AI can't do. I'm not saying that it can't get there. It probably will within the next few years, maybe. But right now, um, AI is a tool, right? And if you learn how to harness that tool, if you learn how to use that tool, you're not going to get lost. Now, I'm telling you, I've seen this before. I've been on at this rodeo and I know how it goes. You know, artists who get stuck in their ways, who get stuck in their own way of doing things, or they get stuck in that one skill. Eventually, that skill gets replaced because it's the natural law of evolution. It's the natural law of growth. As artists and creators, we should always be looking to grow. And AI, in my humble opinion, is an opportunity for us to grow. So that's my opinion on it. Yes, AI is here to stay, but um, artists and creators, traditional artists, we're always going to be around. That's just the bottom line. We're always going to be around because there's always going to be a need to connect on that deeper level. And as a human being, just as a human being, you have the power to do that, but a computer doesn't. So let me encourage you to don't be afraid of the technology. Don't be afraid of the new tools that are available to you. Don't think that you're just going to be cut out of the game because you're not. Persevere, learn the tools, learn the technology, learn whatever it is that you need to learn to remain relevant because this is a fast paced and changing world. And we're going to see these cycles over and over and over again. I hope you like this talk. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. And please don't forget to subscribe. I love you all. Don't be afraid of AI. So I love you all. Yahweh bless. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace out.